My friends, every year in January I do this workshop called How to Achieve Your Life Goal. And I call it the workshop for those who really want to succeed. And the key word there is really. Let me begin by sharing with you some information about myself, as you can see in this slide. On the top is my motto in life. I try to live by that, which is I will not allow what is not in my control to prevent me from doing what is in my control. I will not allow what is not in my control to prevent me from doing what is in my control. Incidentally, the great philosopher, a Greek philosopher more than 2000 years ago, Epictetus, said the same thing. In a different way, he said, concern yourself only with that which you can control. You can see what's on the slide, so I'm not going to read it. But I work and operate from a very strong basis of values, which I call myself, my values are compassion, openness, a complete and total commitment to quality, and professionalism in all my dealings. This is a map of one of my podcasts, which is called Fajr Reminders, from the Google Analytics service which they give us. And this is a map of only the downloads of this podcast from our site. The podcast also appears on Apple and Android podcasts, and then it goes into different chat groups and so on and so forth. All of that is not represented here. That's all. That would be in addition to this. There would be some overlap. But this is the map of the number of people globally who listen to that podcast. This is data. This is not my opinion. The reason I'm putting this here is it has a direct link to the topic of this workshop, which is life goal planning. In 1983, I decided, and so that's a long story, I won't go into that. I decided that I wanted to train to be a leadership consultant. And I wrote my life goal and said that I will be a leadership consultant who has a global presence and who is listened to, or this was the days long before podcasts and all of that. I don't think I even knew the word podcast at that time. But I said global presence, who is known globally and who has a global practice. So I wrote this down. I want to be a leadership consultant who is known globally, has a global practice. What you're seeing here is a direct result of that aim, of that written down life goal. It took a lot of hard work. It didn't happen by magic. It didn't happen because I wrote the life goal. But the life goal gave me direction. It took 13 years of continuous effort, 13 years without taking a single day's vacation, spending every weekend, my entire vacation time in learning leadership and how to teach leadership. You might ask, why do I need a goal? Do we need goals? My answer to that is, do you need success? If you need success, you need goals. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a goal, then there is no way of focusing your time, your energy, your effort in any way, because there is nothing to focus it on. But when you have a goal, then that goal becomes the point of focus. So if you want success, you need goals. I remind myself and you that there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who look for ways to succeed and those who tell you why they couldn't succeed. It's your choice which one of them you want to be. Somebody who tells sob stories, who nobody cares a hoot about, or somebody who continuously looks for ways to succeed, no matter how many times it takes, no matter how long it takes. Never gives up. The agenda of today's workshop it starts with self-assessment, because your assessment of yourself today defines your future. When you assess yourself, then you will be able to go forward, because you will know what you need to achieve your goal. In self-assessment, we look at, do I have a winning attitude or losing attitude? What is my ambition? And do I have discipline and consistency in my life? In Arabic, there's a saying, فوق الكرامة استقامة. Greater than a miracle is steadfastness. So consistency is the secret of success. Then I will teach you how to manage your time, and then you are going to articulate your goals and look at a strategy and a roadmap. And finally, and very, very importantly, we will look at the issue of mentors and role models. Who are they and how to get them? Whatever I have learned in this world is thanks to the mentors that I had throughout my life. I've written about them in a book called From India to the Indies. If you're interested, do read it. So let's start with a self-test to see if you are a winner or a loser. Take your time, sit down, write these answers down. What is your ambition? What are you most passionate about? I'm not talking about what are you interested in. Please understand this is a huge difference. Being interested in has no meaning. What are you passionate about? Meaning, what are you dedicating your life to? If I took a snapshot of your day, where is the maximum focus of that day? So what is your ambition? What is your passion? Number two, who are your friends? And what is their passion? In India, there is something called the UPSC, United Public Service Commission, which is an all India exam which happens every year. 1 million people sit for that exam. And the pass rate, the success rate is 0.2%. UPSC. There is a exam which is a joint exam, JEE, which is for all the business schools, the top business schools in India, which are called the Indian Institutes of Management, IIMs. I went to one of them from Ahmedabad, which is the number one of the IIMs. 200,000 students sit for that test every year. And collectively, all the IIMs have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4,000 or 5,000 seats. So we are looking at about 2.5% success rate. We have another set of engineering colleges called the Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs. They have a joint test, joint exam, entry exam. All of these are admission exams. 1.2 million, 12 lakhs, 1.2 million students sit for their IIT exams. And that has, collectively, IITs have 10,000 seats. So it's 1.2 million and 10,000. The reason I'm telling you all this is because one of the finest ways, most powerful ways that people have found to succeed in these exams is to form study groups. So what they do is they leave their homes, they go and stay in a hostel which has only students who are studying for these exams, nobody else. Now you might say, well, what's this big deal about leaving your home, and are they studying any special things there? Are they studying any new things? Nothing. They're studying the same books. The secret is that when all of these students who are completely and totally focused on passing this exam, there is this huge atmosphere of striving, atmosphere of this. It's tension. There's a lot of tension, but positive tension, which is focused towards passing this examination. And that is what makes them pass, because that when they are in that atmosphere, each one is doing his best. Consider, for example, what people do when they have children who have an IQ of, say maybe 200 or something, genius children. They take them out of a normal school and they put them into a school for gifted children. Think about this child. This child, when he or she is in a normal school and they are gifted, they're extremely intelligent, they are going to stand out in the class. They'll be the stars of the class. So here's the child who is feeling brilliant about himself. It's fantastic. I'm the champ, which he is in that class. Now they take him out of that school and put him into a school for gifted children. What do you think is the first thing that happens? The first thing that happens is that that child suddenly realizes, I'm not the champ anymore, because everyone here is a champ. So it's a bit of a letdown, but that letdown is the secret of success, because now this drives him to become better than the others in his class. That's why I'm asking you, who are your friends? What is their passion? Because if you are in the company of people who are not passionate, who have no ambition, they're just coasting, then believe me, that's what you will do. At the end of your life, you would have just coasted. Third question, do you have a daily timetable? Because the secret of success is structure. Not just waking up every morning and deciding, okay, today I will do this because I feel like doing it. No. Structure. What is your structure? Number 4, how much do you invest in your own learning? What will you pay? If you had to pay for this course, would you pay and come? Ask yourself this question. Normally, when I teach this course professionally, the fee for this course for the day is $1,500. If you had to pay $1,500, would you pay? Number 5, how much do you invest in your community? And I don't mean money. Could be money as well, but what do you do? How do you help your neighbors? What do you do in a collective space? And finally, and most importantly, who are your role models? And why are they role models? Who are your role models and why are they your role models? Bottom line, do you have a written down life goal? Now you might say, well, I don't have that, so I came to this workshop. Fantastic. But it's extremely, extremely important. And I showed you in my own life the power of a written down life goal. Written down, not just floating around in the mind. Written down life goal. There is something very concrete about having something written down which doesn't happen unless you write it down. Let me ask you this question. I have a list of apps here. Instagram, it's all social media. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. How many of these do you have on your phone? What do you pay for them? Nothing? It's free. How many hours a day do you spend on social media? What is the value of that time? Because that time is your life. If I totaled up And if you totaled up all the number of hours you spend on social media for the year, how much would it be? Do the sums. They say that in America, an average person in school and college spends 6 hours. That's a full working day. And this is working days, they have weekends. This is 6 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if I take a working year, for every year in time, one working year is being spent on social media. What do you get out of it? I'm quantifying to you what you spend. My question to you is, you're spending this, what are you getting out of it? So, delete them all. Remove them. Unsubscribe, get out. Because your life is worth more than this. I want to remind myself and you that we must all suffer from one of two kinds of pain. We must all suffer from one of two kinds of pain. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Make your choice. The pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is temporary. The benefits are permanent. The pain of regret is permanent. Because regret happens only when you cannot change the situation that you are in. I found this quote by Cody Sanchez on, somebody sent me from Twitter. She says, choose your hard. Choose your hard. People say, this is hard, that is hard. She says, choose your hard. Being fat is hard. Being fit is hard. Being single is hard. Being married is hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Being an owner is hard. Being an employee is hard. Being in debt is hard. Being financially responsible is hard. Being lazy is hard. Being disciplined is hard. Life won't be easy. You choose your hard, or the universe will choose for you. Choose your hard. I want you to think about this. We live in a very transactional world, very transactional life. I call this tactics. Every day, things happen. Transaction, transaction, transaction. And we tend to get lost in these transactions. And that's the reason why you need a strategy. If you don't have a strategy of your own, believe me, you are a part of someone else's strategy. For that, to have a strategy, you must be passionate about a goal. You might say, well, why passionate? Why not being interested? Because passion passion is to achievement or success as gas is to a car. You can have the most Enzo Ferrari, the absolutely brand new, God knows what horsepower and so on and so forth, capable of this, that, and the other. But if there is no gas in the tank, it's not going anywhere. Which is also the reason why friends are so important, as I mentioned before. Because you are the sum, as they say, you are the sum of your 5 closest friends. Forget about changing friends. You can't change them, they will change you. Together. If we don't do that, if we do not have a strategy, then all the tactics in the world will get wasted. It's like rain. Say rain falls on 2 fields. One field has not been furrowed, has no irrigation channels. It's just there, flat ground. In the other field, the farmer has taken the trouble to plow the land, to prepare it, has irrigation channels leading to where he wants the water to go. Same rain falls on both the fields. Guess which field benefits? I submit to you that there is a window of opportunity in everyone's life when they have the unique opportunity to make an impact. Those who succeed are those who anticipate this window and prepare for it. My submission to you is, your window is open now. What do you want to do about that? Because success is not an accident. Success is where aspirations meet preparation. What we need, therefore, to cultivate is a winning attitude. This is my definition of the winning attitude. 4 things. The world owes me nothing. I am entitled to nothing. Nothing in the world is free. And I can have anything that I want as long as I can pay for it. Because we are free to choose, but no choice is free. Every choice has a price tag. Today, one of the biggest problems is this entitlement attitude. Very unfortunately, we live in this country where this is literally ingrained into children from the earliest ages. That they are entitled to this, entitled to that. We are not entitled to anything. You are only entitled to what you work for. So get that straight in your head and go after it. So what's your life goal? Here's an exercise. Take a piece of paper, sit down, and design a magazine cover. Design the cover, do the graphics and whatnot. Take color crayons as you like. And imagine that you have your picture on this cover. What is the caption that you want to see under the picture? Because the caption will describe you. What is that caption? And that will be your life goal. So write down your life goal in one line. The key is that. The key is to have a short, very impactful life goal that touches your heart. Let me give you some characteristics of the life goal. What should it be? It should be large enough to scare you. Not some incremental thing which is, which you probably will get without any effort. So it must be something which is powerful. Big enough to scare you, but not so big that you don't even try. Mustn't scare you away, but scare you enough to get you excited. Get you feeling alive. I used to do a lot of hunting in my high school and college days. And to this day, this is like 40 years ago, but to this day, I remember the kind of feeling that I would get when I would walk in the forests in Adilabad in Telangana, in India. Semi-deciduous forests of the Aravallis and the and the hills of the Deccan. And I would be carrying a shotgun or a rifle. And these are forests with tigers and leopards and bison. I still remember how I would be completely and totally aware, completely alive, all my senses working to perfection. Every sound I hear, I would interpret that. This is what it means. Smells, I would breathe and identify smells. Because in that situation, your ability to correctly identify a sound or a smell can spell the difference between life and death. Completely alive. So it's a challenge, there is danger, but it's exciting. And my weapon is something that I rely on. And I feel really alive and well And to this day, that memory is alive. Your life goal also must be something that seems worthy of your time and life. Imagine if you're sitting, say at the age of 80, looking back on your life and saying, what did I achieve? It should be something that brings a smile to your lips and say, Alhamdulillah, I think I led and I lived a good life. I can see the effect of my work. I can see what I planted and how they flowered and what the fruit of my efforts was. Your life goal must be real and totally clear to you and must be rewarding for you. The reward can be anything. Can be money, can be non-money, can be name, fame, personal satisfaction, whatever you like. But it should be clear to you. It should be inspiring to you. And only to you. You don't have to inspire anybody else. Your life goal must answer the question, why do you exist? Why do you exist? That is the purpose of the life goal. You exist for this purpose. And then try to find people or somebody who is already doing or already achieved what you're trying to achieve. Go and check it out. You may not always find an exact fit, but trying to see if you can get as close to it as possible. And make sure that this is something that you want to spend your whole life working for. And then get used to working hard. Very hard. Success will happen. Success is inevitable, but not easy. With success, read this book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And in this book, he talks about what he calls the 10,000 hour rule. He says expertise comes when you do something consciously, thoughtfully for 10,000 hours. And he's a statistician, so he statistically proves the remarkable difference between 6,000 hours, 8,000 hours, and 10,000 hours. There's a difference of magnitude between 8,000 hours and 10,000 hours. So, constantly learn, constantly seek feedback, and work very hard, intelligently. So write down your life goal, set a deadline, any deadline. It need not be, you might say, well, I don't know exactly. No, it doesn't matter. Put some reasonable time frame. Then make a list of all that you need to accomplish that. Prioritize this list into a checklist and take action. Work from a checklist. Tick off. I need this, I need this, I need this. I need this education. For the education, I need this finance. After the education, I need an internship. After the internship, I need opportunity to work. And then maybe I want to be an entrepreneur, have a startup, so I need that. Whatever it is. Write down the life goal and go downwards. When I set my life goal to be an internationally recognized leadership consultant, I made a checklist. I said, what do I need? Very interestingly, there wasn't, and I don't think even now there is a formal course you can do on leadership training. So first thing I needed was experience, because theory is theory. You need actual hands-on experience. And alhamdulillah, fortunately, I was working in a job which was probably one of the best jobs to learn very hard hands-on leadership, and that is in the plantation industry in India. Things have changed, unfortunately, not for the better nowadays, but the years that I worked in it, from 1983 to 1993, were fantastic years. So I had that. I had the background. I was working in an area where I could get the leadership experience. Plus, I started in 83, but before that, 5 years I worked in Guyana in South America, in a mining town in the 200 miles inland from Georgetown, a place called Berbice, on the Berbice River, a place called Kokwani. I worked there and I had 5 years of working experience there, working with unions, working with the Amazon rainforest. I set up a logging factory, and so on and so on. So, I mean, whole stories. Again, that's in my book called From India to the Indies. So, if you're interested, read it. Very interesting. So, I had that experience. Now, I said, what do I need? I said, number one, I need how to convert this into teaching. So, designing training courses, conducting training courses, public speaking, interaction with people, negotiating skills, because you have to negotiate a fee and so on and so forth. I needed all this. I made a list. Applied behavioral science. I got a PhD level qualification, applied behavioral science as a result of this. I needed an MBA. I didn't have it at that time. And I was in a full-time job. I was married. So I needed the money, I needed the job, but I also needed an MBA. So it was a, within quotes, interesting challenge. An MBA, a full-time MBA is a 2-year course. I obviously couldn't afford that. I couldn't afford to leave my job for 2 years and go and get an MBA. So I said, what is the alternative? The alternative was in the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, IIMA. They had at that time a course called the MEP, Management Excellence Education Program, which was an executive MBA, where in a period of 6 months, they taught you the entire 2-year program. That meant that we had to study for that entire period without no holidays, no weekends, no festival holidays, no nothing. And on an average, I'm not exaggerating, we studied and worked between 18 and 20 hours a day for that entire period. On a day, if I got 4 hours of sleep, I was very lucky. Usually, we got less than 4 hours of sleep. So I would study. I would regularly go to the gym, because unless you're fit, you can't meet those kind of stress targets. And I stayed in the hostel, and that was 1 month after I got married. I got married, 1 month later, I went off for this. I had no money, so I sold my car, and I borrowed the rest of the money from my company to pay the fees. My company gave me leave without pay, so I lost pay. But I was focused. I said, I have to get this degree. Doesn't come easy. Does not come easy. It takes hard work. It takes investment in yourself. Please notice, I don't use the word sacrifice. It's not sacrifice. I did all of this and I benefited. So, I did that. It's very important, therefore, to be very clear about what you want and to ensure that you do what it takes. Success then will happen automatically. Now take the life goal and then divide it into sub-goals. Sub-goals can be many things. For example, spiritually, what is your spiritual sub-goal? Where do you want to reach in a spiritual sense? Physical, fitness. A strong body means a strong mind. What is your learning goal? What's your financial goals? What are your goals in your relationships? What is your goal in your contribution to society? And that's why in all of this, constantly keep in mind what is your payoff? What are you getting as a result of all this? That will keep you motivated, because as I told you, it's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. But it will keep you motivated. If you remember that payoff, you can do all the rest. That's why I say to myself and you, if it can't make you cry, it can't make you work. This is the definition of passion. Is something that if I think about it, it must touch my heart and bring tears to my eyes. These are tears of happiness, they're not tears of weakness. They're tears of happiness. The aspirations, I really want this thing, I'm getting there, fantastic. And that's why I focus continuously on action. From being to doing. If you ask people generally, what's your ambitions? I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that. And then you say, okay, so if you want to be that, what are you doing to be that? And many times there is confusion because they're not doing anything to be that. And that's why I say, to be, you must do. To do, you need not be. But unless you do, you will never be. Let me illustrate. Supposing you're working in an organization, I say, what's your ambition? Okay, my ambition is to be the CEO. Excellent. So now, what are you doing to be the CEO? Nothing. I am a delivery boy or something, right? I'm a frontline employee. I'm a computer programmer. I'm an accountant. I'm an HR executive. I want to be the CEO. So what are you doing? Nothing. I'm doing my job. Well, guess what? You will never be the CEO. So what must you do? You must do what the CEO does without being the CEO. So what does the CEO do? For example, one of the things the CEO does is he or she thinks about the future of the organization. So you say, what is the marketing philosophy of this organization? Because at the end of the day, all commercial organizations exist to make profit. So what is the focus and orientation of this organization in terms of making profit? What is their marketing strategy? You don't need to be a CEO to think about marketing strategy. So now here you are, this young person who is sitting at the front desk or whatever you're doing, stacking shelves. You're thinking about marketing strategy. You read up about that, you see what people are doing, and so on and so forth. And then you write a clear and concise paper suggesting an alternative marketing strategy or suggesting some changes in the present marketing strategy, and then extrapolating some data and saying, this is the benefit that this will get. Maybe you even run a little pilot project somewhere and say, this is what I have tried and this is my pilot project, this is the data. And this paper, you send it or present it to the CEO. What do you think will happen? I'll tell you what will happen. What will happen is, it's not necessary that the company will change their marketing policy. They might even do that. But even if that doesn't happen, you will stand out. Because how many people at your level, entry level, do you think are thinking about marketing strategy for the whole organization? Nobody. But you are doing that. Now you come onto the radar of the CEO in a very positive, very good way, which can only do you good. So to be, you must do. To do, you need not be. You don't have to wait to be. And unless you do, you will never be. So change all your being goals into doing goals. I'm sure all of you have heard this. You know about SMART goals. Specific, SMART, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. Commitment is the key, and commitment is the line that you cross between wanting and doing. So take whatever goal you have and convert it into a SMART goal. Is it specific? State it clearly. Is it measurable? What are the metrics? Is it actionable? Is it in your power? Direct influence, indirect influence. Is it realistic? How high is high? As I told you, must be realistic, meaning must be exciting for you, but must be doable with a lot of effort, but doable. Not an impossible goal. And time bound. By when? A goal without a timeline is only a wish. That's why I ask people to make a road map and a resource map. What is the milestone? By when will you achieve it? And what do you need to achieve it? Right? Road map and resource map. What is the milestone? By when? What's the metric? And what do I need to achieve that? So, quick recall list. Clarify your purpose, your goal, and set micro goals. Select your friends very carefully and shun mediocrity. Choose adversity and difficulty because that's how you grow. You don't grow with ease. Number 4, find something bigger than yourself, which will stretch you, which will make you aspire to greatness. And 5th one is physical fitness, because physical strength equals mental strength. Stop making excuses, because excuses don't change reality. Let's come to managing time, because time is about managing priorities. People trying to manage time, they don't manage it because they can't manage time. Manage priorities. So here's an exercise. The first thing I want you to do is write down, create this table that I put on the screen. Left column, write the times from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. So say you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, write the timing down in half-hour slots. So 4:35, 5:36, 6:37, like this. And against each of these activity, what were you doing at 4:30? So take a normal day, the previous day, sit down, reflect, think back, and say 4:30 a.m. yesterday, what was I doing? 5 o'clock, what was I doing? 5:30, what was I doing? So 4:30, trying to wake up. 5 o'clock, still trying to wake up. 5:30, still trying to wake up. Or something useful. Fill the whole day from wake up time to go to bed time. Right? This is what I call our time log. So you're only writing down what you were doing. Don't put a bracket and say 9 to 5 at work. No. 9 o'clock, what you were doing, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, and so on. So for example, you might say, well, 9 o'clock, logging in, 9:30, looking at emails, 10 o'clock, somebody came who had nothing to do and they came and did it in my office. So 10 to 11 o'clock, trying to be polite to someone who's wasting my time. Very dangerous thing to do. Remember, time is irreversible, non-renewable resource. You can never get it back. No matter what you try, it's gone, it's gone. The true value of time, think about that. If you are on your deathbed and the angel of death comes and says to you, I will give you back the time that you spent doing whatever it was. Social media, watching some sport, playing the sport, brilliant, excellent, good for health, good for social skills. But just watching it, whether you watch it on television, you watch it live or whatever, complete waste of time. So anyway, so you do that. So he comes now, this angel of death comes and says, I will give you back all the time that you spent doing these things, provided you pay for it. Tell me at that time, what will you pay? You will pay everything. Because if you get that time at the time of your death, you get this extension to your lifetime, then you can correct so many things. You can repent, you can straighten out your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can make amends to people, you can pay back, you can, do all kinds of things to ensure that you have a good ending. But that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. But that I'm saying, I'm giving you this example to illustrate to you what is the value of time. Because you are going to give away your entire, all your possessions, because you won't lose them anyway. When you're dead, they are gone anyway. So take it now, give me this time. But right now, today, you have this time for free. So don't blow it away. It has value that is irretrievable, it has value which is impossible to count. And today it is yours for free. So value it. So make this time log. Then write your life goal right on top. And in this time log, look at this and say, how many hours of this day are you spending in life goal related activities? Direct and indirect. For example, time you spend in the gym, time you spend in physical exercise is life goal activity, because it keeps your body strong. Time you spend in prayer, life goal activity, and so forth. So, how many hours are you spending in life goal related activity? This is your effective time. So you have actual time and effective time. Actual time is 24 hours. Effective time is what you spend in life goal related activity. Do the sums. Actual time 24 hours. How many hours do you sleep? 8 hours. That is 1/3 of your actual day is gone. Now you need some sleep, but do you need 8 hours? Some people sleep 10 hours. Some people sleep 12 hours. So 50% of your lifespan is gone. Then how are you going to achieve anything? So, actual time, effective time. Effective time is time spent in life goal related activity. The key to success is to maximize your effective time. Where will that come from? From two places. One is time wasters, and the second one is extra time when sleeping and various maintenance activities that may not really be necessary. So think about that. I'm going to teach you 4 tools to maximize your effective time. Number 1, prioritization. Effort versus impact. Number 2, delegation. Urgent versus important. Number 3 is how to manage monkeys. And number 4, how to say no. Walk away. For the first one, which is prioritization, how do you prioritize your activities? How will you prioritize your different things in your life? We have what's called the Pareto principle, which tells us that 20% of effort produces 80% of results. There's a famous study by this guy called Pareto who discovered this principle, that 20% of things, for example, have 80% of the value. 20% of effort produces 80% of results. So this applies very nicely across the board. So take this Pareto principle, draw this matrix that I put here, effort on one axis, impact on the other axis. So you will have 4 different kinds of things that are happening in your life, 4 different activities, 4 different occurrences and so forth. So you will have, for example, in the top left quadrant, things that take a lot of effort but have very little impact. So effort and time, same thing. So for example, social media, 6 hours a day, impact 0. maybe even negative, because all that social media programming which you are imbibing and consuming, the videos and so on and so forth, is changing your attitude, it's changing your heart, and usually it's for the negative. It makes you depressed, it makes you sad, it makes you anxious, fearful, because unfortunately only bad news sells. You've got the world full of bad news, and all this stuff you're consuming, passive consumption of this, it is 1,000 times worse than smoking cigarettes. So you've got this high effort, high time, very little impact or no impact or even negative impact. Eliminate it, waste. Remove it from your life. Come down straight, left bottom quadrant. Things which don't take much effort, impact also may not be very much, but they don't take too much effort. Delegate them. Give them to somebody else. Usually, for some people that might be useful for them. So delegate those things which don't take too much effort and which do not have too much of impact. There are two high impact things for you. Something which may take a lot of effort but has a lot of impact. For example, learning a new language. Right now I'm learning Spanish. And I tell myself, at my age, it's not easy to remember new words and so on and so on. But it doesn't matter. The effort of learning itself stretches the mind. It creates new neurons. It keeps the neuron connections in the mind alive. Takes a lot of effort. But when I learn Spanish and I am able to speak Spanish, it will, be good for talking to people and relationships and so on. So, impact, high impact. This is investment. Going to the gym, working out every day, it's painful, it's hard, but good for the body and the soul. Going for a walk. Long walks are the best thing that you can do to enhance your thinking, and obviously somebody said that if the secret of good health could be put into a little bottle and given to people, that would be 10,000 steps, 5 miles a day. 10,000 steps. Investment. These are all investment. Things which take a lot of effort but huge impact. Reading. The most valuable thing that you can do is reading. And last quadrant, bottom right, low effort, high impact, is leverage. Like a lever. Little bit of force lifts a huge weight. In leverage, the biggest and most powerful form of leverage is a smile. Just be nice to people. Be polite to people. Be nice to people. Have a smile on your face. Don't look like death warmed up. Don't look like you just came from a funeral. Concentrate on what you have that you must be grateful for. An attitude of gratitude is the number one asset that anybody can have. Right? So, be grateful and express the gratitude, big smile on the face. In prioritization, also, next tool, I call it the rule of 3. Every day list 3 activities for the day in order of priority, and the priority criterion is your life goal. So tomorrow morning, what are the 3 things that I must do in order of priority? Start on the first one, continue until you finish it. If you get interrupted, come back and complete it. Only then go to the next one. And every day start with a fresh list. Don't just supposing you were on the first day, you had 3 points, you did 2, you left 1. Don't just take the third one as the first thing for the next day. No. Assess it. Maybe the third one is no longer necessary, or the time has passed for it. So, each day, new point. Start every day. Start your day with 3 activities for the day in order of priority. Start with the first one, finish it, then go to the second one. If you get interrupted, come back and complete the first one. And every day, start with a new, fresh list. Just do this and see how amazing this tool is to make your life very, very productive. And then what you do is, at the end of the day, write an assessment. Keep a little notebook and say, today I had these 3 goals. How did I do? Did I do well? Did I mess up? Why did I mess up? So, starting the day with a list of 3 goals, assessing how you did with that at the end of the day. This is the finest productivity tool that I can possibly teach you. Then you look at what is urgent and what is important in life. Once again, urgent axis, important axis. Top corner, urgent but may not be important. Most common of that is your alerts. Social media alerts, I told you get rid of social media, so inshallah you will not have that. Phone calls, phone rings, whatnot. So you drop everything and pick it up. No, don't do that. Either delegate it, meaning let the answering machine do the answering, and then you can decide when to call back. Tell people that you will meet them only by appointment. You respect their time, they will respect your time. So outsource or delegate what is urgent and may not be so important. Bottom, left quadrant, neither urgent nor important, don't do it. Eliminate that from your life. So you've got now that extra time. Urgent and important, obviously, plan for it, be proactive, so that when the time comes when you have to do the thing, you don't waste time. You already have a game plan. You might need a bit of tweaking, but it's a game plan. And the most important quadrant, not urgent but important, is reading, is learning, is exercise, is investing in relationships. How much time do you spend with your parents? Don't wait for them to die and then regret that you didn't spend time with them. Go sit with them, conversation, not just transactional stuff. I want this, I want that. No. Show your affection. Show your gratitude. How much time do you spend with your spouse? How much time do you spend with your children? Conversations with children. How much time do you spend with your colleagues? Investment. What books do you read? How many do you read? Once you read the books, what do you do with that? So also exercise, food, so on, right? How do you leverage what you do? In 2003, I went to South Africa on a holiday. Spent, I think, about 3 weeks or a month there. It was a beautiful time, met some wonderful people. And thanks to the people I was meeting, I met a wide cross-section of people. I met politicians, I met judges, I met civil servants, I met a lot of businessmen, I met a lot of theologians, all of our scholars. Right? And then I went to Kruger Park, I had a fantastic time and went to Cape Town. And, beautiful. South Africa is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Fantastic tourism. I did all of that and came back. And then I wrote a paper, 15, 16 pages, which I called the State of the Nation. And in that, I did my analysis. I wrote an analysis of the state of things I saw there, with specific reference to Indians in South Africa. And I looked at it from an economic angle, from a political angle, and so on. Now think about this. How many people go for holidays? How many people write a paper like this? So the result of that paper was, I wrote the paper, and then I sent it to some of the key people that I had met. As I told you, I met a lot of people, met a lot of powerful people. I sent the paper to them. The result was that I was then invited to be an advisor to many different organizations. To the Council of Theologians in South Africa, the Jamiat Ulama, to the Association of Muslim Schools, and then informally an advisor to so many different people in South Africa. The result of that was I go back and forth South Africa many times. I ended up writing a book on family businesses because South Africa is full of Indian business entrepreneurs. So I wrote a book called The Business of Family Business. This book was thanks to my dear friends, the Kala family. This book was launched in all the three major cities, Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. So we had these book launch functions, and I did a full day seminar on the book and so on and so on. It was fantastic. I made lots and lots of friends, and I was on television and all sorts of things. Because of investment in leveraging something. If you are on a holiday, that does not mean that you only just need to go and gawk at things and go home. Take some pictures. No. Leverage that. How can you use that to better yourself? How can you use the same experience to get much more value addition to that? Much more benefit from that same experience. This is what differentiates. Differentiation creates brand. Brand inspires loyalty. Loyalty enables influence. Otherwise, without differentiation, you are a grain of rice in a sack. So differentiate. Then we come to the issue of managing monkeys. The monkeys are things that other people, which is their responsibility, they bring it and dump it on your head. To give you an example. Say you are a manager, you are a subordinate, and you say to the subordinate, now he comes to you with a problem. He says, sir, I'm trying to get a door open into this company for our product and service. Can you help me? He says, sure, I can help you. I give you the number of my counterpart there, who's the head of the business there, and so call him and make an appointment. And go see him. Give my reference. I give the number. Now he goes away. Next day he comes, sir, I'm not getting through to that number. Now what will you do? You know what I will do? I will tell him, if you are not getting through to the number, go stand at his door. Go lie down on the road in front of his house. I don't care. I'm giving you a number. It's your job. Go contact the man. But that sounds cruel, right? You know what the nice people will do? It's okay, leave it with me. I'll call him. So now, whose job was it? His job. You took on his monkey. Now what happens? He'll come back the following day. Sir, did you call the man? You are asking me. So now suddenly I am reporting to you. Who did this? I did it. Why? Because I was kind. In the process, I made him dependent on me instead of forcing him to develop his own networking skills. Net negative. So never say leave it with me. Help people by telling them this is what you need to do. Here's the direction. Go follow it. Don't become a zookeeper. Don't collect monkeys. Return them to their owners. The monkey is not yours, but your life is yours. And if you take on the monkey is eating into your life. Final thing, very important, the power of not engaging. Just walk away. Remember one thing, you do not need to have an opinion on everything. Number one. Number two, you do not need to express that opinion to everybody. You don't have to answer every question. So, assert your rights. For example, punctuality. I was asked once, I wanted to meet the head of training of a particular organization. So I had an appointment. She gave me an appointment. I went there. I'm waiting now in the reception room. 15 minutes passed. No sign of this woman. So I got up. I told the receptionist, here's my card. When she comes, if she comes, give it to her. I went back, I sent an email and I said, ma'am, thank you very much for the appointment. Unfortunately, you didn't turn up. I waited 15 minutes and I left. And if you are interested in meeting me, please give me a call. Now she gave me a call. She was very apologetic. I went the next day. She was bang on time. And we did a lot of business together. But that happened because I walked away. The minute I walked away now, I've changed the equation. I'm no longer, I was never a supplicant anyway, but she may have thought of me as, oh, this guy needs something. And now suddenly, the guy may still need something, but he's not going to take any kind of treatment just because he needs the business. So she's getting the message to say, I have to behave in a professional way. So assert yourself. Self-expression without violating anyone else's rights. Not aggression. Aggression is overriding the rights of people. No, you don't want to do that. So, power of walking away, where you don't need to engage, don't engage. Go away, leave. There's this great need in many people to be good to everybody. Being good in terms of being polite and so on is fine, nothing wrong with that, but trying to please people. When you try to please everybody, you please nobody, not even yourself. So don't do that. Some ways of saying no without being rude. So say no by saying yes. So someone suddenly turns up. I need to talk to you. Sure. Please come back at 4 o'clock. I'll be able to give you my full attention. Right now I'm doing this job. I can't leave it. I want to listen to you. I want to help you. Come back at 4 p.m. That's it. Do not sit and listen to him right then. Even if you're free, don't do that, because then you are creating a bad precedent. Give him a time to come back. Come back in 15 minutes. Come back in half an hour, no problem. But right now, I'm busy. Come back. It creates a sense of seriousness. And you're not saying, no, I will give you, I would like to give you my full attention. Do you want my full attention or partial? Obviously full. So, come back in half an hour. Come back in 2 hours. Similarly, you treat other people's time with respect. Always make an appointment, send a short, maybe even a one-line note on what you need to talk about so that the person is mentally prepared, and show respect for the time. Go there on time, go a little bit before time, and if the appointment is for half an hour, 25 minutes, finish it, get up and say, half an hour is over, thank you very much. Take a notepad, take notes, right? Punctuality must become an obsession, because punctuality is a measure of our honor. If I tell you I will meet you at a particular time, this is my word. And if I have no value for my word, I have no value for myself. It's a matter of my self-respect. It's not fun and games. It's not just something. No. So structuring and scheduling, absolutely critical. So I want to say to you that you can be whatever you want. Anything at all. But only if you work for it. Don't let other people define what you can or cannot be. Surround yourself with people who are supportive but honest, who will give you clear feedback, not just people who will keep cheering you on over the edge of the cliff. No. People who will give you clear feedback. And when you get feedback, listen non-defensively. Don't argue. The person giving you feedback is doing you a favor. They don't have to do that. They don't have to be interested in you. They are interested enough to talk to you, so listen to them. You don't have to accept what they tell you or accept everything they tell you, but listen to them, because feedback is to look yourself in the mirror. That's the only way we have of knowing how we are doing in the outside world. So listen to feedback. then do something about it. If you need to change yourself, change yourself. If you need to make notes, make notes. But whatever it is, make sure that you don't waste that feedback. I always remember this quote of somebody who said, you can achieve results or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. You can achieve results or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. I think it is Paul Coelho's quote, if I'm not mistaken. So one of James Clear's, the guy who wrote the book Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits, very nice book. He says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So I ask myself and ask you, what are your systems? Structure is the key to success. Structure is the key to efficiency. Structure is the key to productivity. Everything has to have a measurement. Everything has to have a framework in which you work, and you will find how fantastically productive your life will become if you have structure. So once again, to repeat what James Clear said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This is a picture that I took in the desert in Qatar. We were camping out, and I thought the fire looks very nice. So my question therefore is, for myself and you, what are your systems? Be brutally frank, because as I mentioned again earlier, and I'm saying again and again, excuses don't change reality. Forget excuses. What are your structures? Who are your friends? Are you consistent? Because consistency beats brilliance every single time. There's a wonderful book called Talent is Overrated. Talent is Overrated by Geoff Colvin. Read the book. He talks about something called thoughtful practice. With your brain. He's not blind practice. It's a thoughtful practice. And the power of thoughtful practice. Talent is Overrated. And 2 books you must read. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell and Talent is Overrated by Geoff Colvin. Final point, your coach or mentor or role model. It's very important to have mentors, because you cannot learn from somebody your own age or with your own experience background. You need someone who has more. Right? That's the law of nature. What is more flows into what is less. If the two are equal, nothing happens. So choose a mentor and ask yourself, why did you choose that mentor? Then make a contract with the mentor. What is the mentoring about? What is the input that you are looking to from the mentor? Is it technical? Is it career related? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? What is it that you need from the mentor? And monitor for yourself, how do you show respect to the mentor? The way to show respect to the mentor is not to go touch his feet, but to be on time for the mentoring, for your mentoring meetings, to take notes, not to argue, to have good questions prepared in your mind. I have students, I thoroughly enjoy meeting them. I look forward to meeting them because they ask such wonderful questions. There are 2 of them here, called Omar Abdullah and Munir Zaitoon. Brilliant questions. And I enjoy meeting them. We go for long walks, 5-6 miles, during which they ask me questions, I answer questions and so on and so forth. And you're walking in nature, next to a lake. Absolutely beautiful. But be like that, where the mentor looks forward to meeting you. And always monitor yourself. How do you handle adverse feedback? Non-defensively, non-judgmentally, Listen, take notes, reflect. If it is true, if you need to change, change. If you don't need to change, doesn't matter. It's a good thing to listen to that. And always remember, ask yourself, what's in it for the mentor? I'm not talking about fees. Some mentors may charge you fees. Good, pay the fees. That fee is well worth. It's actually worth, the fee is nothing compared to what you get in terms of learning from the mentor. But many other mentors don't even charge you fees. It's just the joy of teaching somebody something. But make it worthwhile for them by showing some genuine interest. Sometimes people I have encountered people like this. They make an appointment, or they come and ask you, can I come and meet you? I have this thing now, I need to talk to you about it. I say, okay, so come tomorrow at 4 o'clock. No, that's not convenient. So what do I care? Is it your need or my need? It's not convenient for you, so don't do that. That's disrespectful. Even if that is the case, you can say, sir, can I come at this other time? Because at this time I have a class to attend to or whatever it is, right? But don't say things like, it's not convenient. They're very rude. Finally, do this. I call this a gap analysis template in terms of people. Who do you have? Who do you need? Funding or resources, any kind of resources. How much do you have? How much do you need? And what other things are there? What other things other than this that you need, and what's your plan to get them? We end with this, which is your action plan. Starting today, what do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? And what do you need to continue to do? Something good you're doing now, continue that. Thoughtfully, consciously. I wish you all the very best. I'm sharing with you my email. Most welcome to email me if you need any clarifications, any questions, thoughts. I wish you all the very best and success in whatever you want to do. Thank you very much.